Hello and welcome to another edition of The One Team We Agree On. I'm Jillian.
And I'm Kyle.
Well,
That was an interesting night, but a lot to discuss with the game. Both good and bad. I think
hmm
that's to be fair and balanced. But also, we also have some other fun things today. Some union news and notes talking about the All Stars and just a couple other things from this past week. But before we get started, what are we wearing today?
I did the thing.
I know you did the thing.
So I have on the t-shirt that we've talked so much about. I went ahead and got it. I got it on sale though. I did not pay $80 for it. Okay, I got it for much less and worth it. No regrets because it's really nice. So if you're just listening, yes, it is the concert t-shirt with the gold lettering that is quite nice.
Yeah, I mean, it is nice, not for the price, but it is nice. It's a nice shirt.
I would not pay full price for that, but
But it is a pretty awesome shirt.
yes.
And I'm wearing the season ticket holder shirt from this year. Just grabbed something today, to be quite honest with you.
But yeah, it's a nice
Um,
one.
yeah, and it's a very comfortable shirt.
So
So
is this one. This is very comfortable.
yeah, and so before we get started, you can follow it and interact with us on social media. We are on Twitter at TOTWAG. And then we are on Instagram and Facebook at the One Team We Agree On. Yes, that's the one team we agree on. Apparently, last week I said it was the one team we all agree on.
Yes.
But anyway, it's the one team we agree on. And you can follow us on Google, Apple, and Spotify podcasting platforms. And then you can also follow us on YouTube. And as always, if you like what you're hearing, make sure you subscribe. It means a lot to us. And also, even more important, interact. We
Mhm.
love hearing from you guys, whether it's on social media, whether it's on the YouTube page. Interact, share your thoughts. So let's go ahead and get started. And I want to talk a little bit. This article came out, and there was some discussion on social media earlier last week. About the MLS supposedly reaching their subscription numbers and what it means for the leagues and players. So the article was basically, I think it was from World Soccer, one of those websites. And basically, what it went into was it was an article from the Seattle Times, and the Sounders reporter, Jida Evans, wrote about over the weekend. It was more about the fans' annoyance for the Sounders with trying to follow their favorite MLS team, as a lot of us have talked about this year.
Mhm.
We leave a game and then we get back and the league's done. Or just it's not the greatest for some people that don't want to pony up. Um, we're trying to follow their favorite team, and now the league has entered into that 10-year, 2.5 billion broadcasting deal with Apple. But what was interesting about it, and I read the article, she was talking about the pros and cons like we've all talked about, but there was a source, and again, we've heard these anonymous sources from the MLS confirming that the league is now reaching their required subscription threshold for kickbacks of the agreement, which include revenue. League's players per term in the new CBA would receive 12.5 of the increased media revenue this year if the amount exceeds 100 million of the 2022 media compensation, which was about I think it was 65 million when excluding pay fees going to the men's national team. So I thought that was interesting when I read
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
because number one, we know that when they hit their thresh marks, the owners are going to get their money, right?
Mhm.
And the league's going to get their money. But what I wasn't aware of was the players are going to get some pick back.
I like that.
I do too. So I think while it's great that they're hitting those benchmarks, we all
Mhm.
know there's things that they can still improve upon.
Yeah.
And again, it's only year one.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I have been pleased with the product that we're getting. I know Saturday night we pretty much we joked we have date night watching MLS 360,
Right.
watching all of that, and I like that whole part of it. And more on that later about some things on MLS 360.
Right.
Watching the game yesterday, I know it was airing on Fox as well, and I know someone I know reached out and they're like, it's actually on TV. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, but, and we watched it on Apple TV, but we went to our local Fox station and I was really glad that we had the Apple TV option because it was getting interrupted because of the storm coverage on from our local news. And so they had taken over the entire channel at that point for going crazy about the storm. And I know people ran into that with the U.S. men's national team
They
game
did.
Later, people that were closer to the Philly area. But anyway, I was like, oh, I'm glad we have Apple TV. You don't have to worry about that. I One thing that I keep thinking when they have the Apple TV games is they'll cut away to show a replay of something, and then
Yeah.
you miss, like, it's like all of a sudden the ball's at the other end and we just missed all that. We missed different things. And I don't see why they can't just split the screen or do like a pop out or something.
Well, and again, it's the first year. So I
Yeah.
think these are all things that they're going to take feedback on. And then
Mm-hmm.
moving forward into next year, they'll improve. The other thing I think that certainly helps hitting this subscriber is the Messi deal. I think that's going to
Oh,
have
for sure.
that's going to have a huge impact. Um, but overall, that's something that I found
Mm-hmm.
very interesting. So I wanted to share that with everybody because, we hear a lot of people complaining about Apple, and I don't know if you saw earlier today, and I wasn't able to bookmark it, but I guess somebody had posted about Wrexham having like a subscriber only. So now you can watch Wrexham on League Two for the low, low cost of $178 to watch only Wrexham games, not the entire League Two.
Hard pass.
I mean, here's the thing, and I was showing some people about this. You know darn well there are people that are saying, "Oh, I'll never get Apple TV deal," or
Mm-hmm.
MLS, but then they're going to go and shell out more money to watch. Let's be honest, it's an inferior product. All right,
Yeah.
in League Two. So I find that kind of humorous, but
Yeah.
again, people complain about the cost, but then you see that stuff, it kind of makes you kind of pause and go, huh, maybe it is a good deal.
Yeah.
So anyway, moving on. A bit of fun stuff for us. And we're going to try to share the screen here, but a bit of fun news. So somebody had posted on social media about the Reggae Boys.
I mean, I know it was Corey Burke's
Yeah.
video that he posted on his Instagram story when I first saw it.
So if you haven't seen it, there's a video of the Reggae Boys. They're doing a
There,
piano. They're playing the piano to John Legend's one song. So
yeah.
I mean, obviously, I don't know if the sound's gonna come on up here, but basically, let's look at who is behind the piano.
It's funny when I first started watching it, I was like, oh, this is great. And then I'm like, hey, that's Dre on the piano. I'm like, man, of many talents.
So if you can't see the video or hear it,
I'm sure a lot of you have seen
I
it
have
by
seen it
now.
already. But one thing I want to notice about this is, as good as Andre is in goal, he is not bad on the piano.
Like I said, man of many talents.
Man of many talents. But this is really fun to see. I wanted to share that with everybody
It
today.
was fun, and they did a great job. That whole little performance they did. But yeah, how about Andre? That's great. It was great to see. I love the camaraderie they have. I mean, let's be honest. I know a lot of people feel this way. Yeah, we're cheering for the USA and everything, but we're kind of like also like go Jamaica.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, yeah, we want to see Andre do well. We want to see, Damien do well.
Yeah.
But they got a cool little story, and good for them. They're
doing well.
They're getting a lot of those since the regime changed. They're getting a lot of good players to come over from Europe. That weren't playing for them before. So That's good. That's really good to see. And the other thing I really made me watch that video is
I watched that so many times.
I really miss Corey.
I do too.
But again, it is what
I
it
mean,
is.
yes. And those of you listening, do you miss Corey too? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. I mean, and so moving on to the next thing today. Let's talk a little bit about the All-Star.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of people. We've seen a lot of
I have thoughts.
A lot of people have thoughts, but good news, there is a Union player.
El Brujo.
And Brujo makes it. And well deserved. He's one of the best at his position in MLS, if not.
He finally gets the recognition.
And exactly. He gets the recognition. He's been playing a phenomenal season this year.
Right. And he got chosen before he had that banger of a goal, from what I understand, too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, all things said, really happy for Jose.
Same.
And you know, again, it goes to show that he's getting now the deserving recognition he did. But when you look at the MLS roster selection, I mean, I'll be honest. I'm really not totally outside of 2 or 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad roster. I mean, let's run through.
There's a few that are head scratchers, but
we got Roman Berkey.
Yeah. Deservedly.
Petrovic from New England.
Deserving.
But then we have Tyler Miller.
What the actual
Okay. So they say in here,
nepotism
like
pick.
For Roman, voted in.
Yeah.
Okay. Petrovic, he is a coach's selection, and then of course, Tyler Miller, coach's selection. Now, the only one there is Tyler Miller, and here's the reason why. I get why it's Wayne's boy. Okay, whatever. But
wow,
I can name right off the top of my.
There's several goalies.
There are several goalies.
Not just Andre. I mean, obviously Andre.
And that's where I want to get to this. Everybody's saying Andre. Okay, that's fair. Okay, but what about Joe Willis? I mean, there's another guy deserving. There are several other keepers in this league.
San Jose. Daniel, right?
Daniel.
He's better than Tyler Miller.
In. Oh yeah, he's definitely better.
I think everybody pretty much is better.
I don't know about that, but
hot take. Is Joe Bendick better than Tyler Miller?
No.
No, I didn't think so. But
Celentano's better than him. I mean, there again, there's one just throwing. I mean, I could name. Well, I'm not going to, but anyway, I think that's one of the missions. Then you look at defenders. You have Barriel from Cincinnati, Gallagher from Austin. Both were voted in. Hollingshead. I mean,
okay,
he's a good player. Coach selection. Mazanga from Cincinnati. Miazga from Cincinnati.
You can all roast Kyle.
Yeah. Parker, again, he's having a decent season. Tolkien, good player.
Yeah.
Walker Zimmerman, how he keeps getting voted in. I mean, look, okay, I joke about that, but he is a good player. But I mean, just when he plays for the national team, he gets.
Yeah, I think.
I have no problems with this one because let's be honest, as good as our defense is, it's just been good this year. No one's really
Kai hasn't racked up the assists and stuff as much
as he has. Kai, a thing for
might not show Glesnes has been very good.
But I have no problem there. And then midfielders, Acosta, Almeida,
Amada.
Alda.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't even know how to pronounce this guy from Montreal.
Well, that is a very French name.
Yeah.
Chonier. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my guess. I didn't speak French.
Herrera. And then you got Martinez, Aiden Morris, Hani Mukhtar.
Obviously.
Ricky Puge. I always get that one. It's like
because
it looks like Ricky Puig.
Like Puig, like the baseball player.
But it's fun.
It's Puge. I know. That one I was like, eh.
And then Lucas Selron. I mean, Puge is like, I mean, yeah. I'll leave that one there. And then the forwards, Benteke, Boanga, Espinoza, Ferreira, Yakimates, Kai Kamara. Okay, I think that one's more. That's the commissioner selection. Okay, I mean he's what, 1 goal away from tying Donovan, I think, Landon Donovan.
Mm-hmm.
So I get why he's in there. And then there's the one I have a problem with. Jordan Morrison
Yeah.
voted in. Again, I mean, he's a good player. He's a good MLS player. And okay, well, what about, this is the MLS All-Star game.
This
Okay.
is where I feel there's a major snub.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could put
Jillian Carranza
over Moores. I definitely do.
Absolutely.
So, anyway.
Yeah, Jillian Carranza is my big snub. I think he deserved it more than Jordan Morris. Absolutely. Do we have an update on Yakimakis? On
We do not.
Yeah. Because
you hate to see that.
You do. You hate to see that. I wish, and we'll talk more about this, but yeah, that's a case where too, I wish we could have capitalized more on his absence. But I mean, you hate to see a player get injured, but if he is like badly injured and there's a spot on the All-Star team.
Well, so that brings me up to a good point, and
should be Julian.
I know, but it brings up a good point. And Todd brought this up on his podcast, and I agree with him too, because I've been thinking about this too.
Yes.
Let's think about all the games Union have played this year.
Yes.
This All-Star game, it's right after NYCFC.
Yeah.
Right before the Leagues Cup. Right. However you want to take the Leagues Cup. But they've played so many games this year.
Oh, yeah. I don't have a problem with them getting a break.
They honestly need rest. I mean, the worst thing you want is get a Union player in there, get injured.
Right.
Not get the rest. And let's be honest, we need everybody rested and healthy for that final push in the league.
I think for me, I'd like to see a player like Julian get the recognition that he deserves to be an all-star. And that's my big thing. He deserves to be one. But am I mad at him getting extra rest now and the rest of the team getting rest now?
No, and to be honest, let's be honest. The All-Star game is a glorified
popularity contest.
It is. And when you look at some of these names, yes, there are some great names on here, people that are very deserving. But at the end of the day, when you look at the voted in, I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I don't know what they were going for there. So, I mean, I'm not too bummed that people like Blake and Kranz are not in there. Kai as well.
Right.
It is what it is. But I think what we have to look for is it's great for the players so that they have that rest that they need to push for that second half. Mm-hmm. So, we'll see.
Yeah. And I don't know if we mentioned before, but we are going to the skills competition.
Yeah.
So if anyone else is going, let us know. And
talk to you. Say hi.
And of course, we've been talking like, do you think Messi might show up? That'd be something.
Maybe. I would suggest maybe more for the actual game itself.
Right.
Like it comes out like, hey, it's Messi, yay.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, we're heading for that. So yeah, let us know if you're going.
Yeah. And then so we do have some big news. I'm gonna share this because it's a funny little clip. And as I get to sharing this, Jillian, you can give the backstory on the contract situation. So basically, and sorry, my computer is a little slow tonight. Okay. We'll talk about that in the game. All right. So here, hold on here. As you can see, I don't All right, here we go.
Yeah, so I took a little video while watching MLS 360, and I think, Kyle, you were downstairs, and I'm like, oh, hell no.
So basically what's going on here is Sacha's basically, if you can't hear the audio and you missed it,
yeah, I tweeted it out on our Twitter account.
He's basically saying that what
that the Chicago Fire should follow Cincinnati's, but like Cincinnati went to Philadelphia and got their assistant coach and assistant GM and now they're in first place and they're crushing it. So Chicago Fire should take a bunch of cash and throw it at Jim Curtin and Ernst Tanner and get them over to Chicago. And I'm like, what? I'm like, are you kidding me? And I know some other people are also going like, what the heck? So That's basically what the clip is. And of course I did tweet no. And of course that was when Twitter was going nuts, as in all the rate limit exceeded, whatever. So
all that fun stuff.
Oh yeah, what a day. So anyway, but that's what that clip is. And if you haven't seen it, check it out on our Twitter. And
But yeah. I thought it was funny because
then later that night, Jim has like on his Instagram story, ad finem fidelis.
Yep. And
like a handshake emoji.
Which is right here. That's a scarf right here.
Yeah. And I saw that and I'm like, oh, I think he's saying something there. I went and I would love to have asked Jim, did he see that? Did he see that on MLS 360?
Did everybody see that? Yeah, that was a big talking point. Did he see that and finally be like, all right, let's get this done? Yeah. I'm not dealing with it. Nah. So we wake up on Sunday morning and Tom Bogert reported in The Athletic that Philadelphia Union and two-time MLS Coach of the Year Jim Curtin have agreed to a new long-term deal through 2026. Sources involved told The Athletic they were not granted, they couldn't discuss the deal publicly, right. But
so it's unofficially a deal.
And Jonathan Tannenwald had asked in our interview too.
Yeah, so in the post-game presser, Jim was asked, and he said basically, nothing. It's not official yet, but you can read between the lines.
Yeah, he's like, I basically said since day one, I want to stay in Philly.
Right.
So that. I think
we all knew that.
I think it's a perfect piece. I mean, I think more importantly, I think you gotta get Ernst locked up now.
Get it done with Ernst Tanner now.
Yep, and perfect timing before the transfer window opens up. Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, that's opened up this week. I believe it opens up this week. So, I mean, perfect time because now you have the stability of the head coaching role. So now players are coming in there saying, well, why am I going to Union if this guy's going to be out? So right. I think they got that locked up right before that. I think the other thing for us is, you could say, well, is there concern because Ernst is still not locked up because he's a mastermind behind, the construction of this roster. Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like they're going to get that one done.
I think we're going to get it done. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I know we will. I just feel like Ernst wants to be...
He is not finished here.
Yeah, and he loves a challenge, and that's why he's here. So I think, that remains to be seen. But at the end of the day, Jim is going to be in Philly, and that's what we need to be excited for because, I get, like I said, I think Ernst is going to stay as well. Yep. So... just a little bit of news. So let's dive in and talk a little bit about this game that we watched last night, Atlanta. Going into this one, I know I had on my season prediction, I had this game as a draw.
Oh, I thought you predicted a loss.
No, I
kind of knew in my heart that it was probably going to be a loss.
Well, when you look at
the Union, it would be a draw, but
I mean, and they were clowning us after the game on Instagram.
Oh
yeah. Which is funny because they were so negative going into the game, but
they were. A lot of them were saying like they thought we were going to win.
I mean, the Union have never won a leagues match. Now they did win CCL game in CCL, but never leagues play. They were 0-2-3 with -5, well now -7 goal differential. So you look at all that and you think, and Jim, I had asked him a question, which of course he did, Jim, and he kind of answered it, but basically said it's going to be a hostile environment. And we listened to the crowd. It was a good crowd last night. And I thought, going into this, it's going to be a tough game.
I did think we would at least score. So that was kind of a letdown. And also, can I say the Captain America wallpaper tops?
Well, that's what I want to talk about. What'd you think of those?
I don't like them. And in my best Ren and Stimpy Mr. Horse. No, sir, I don't like them.
I did like what the Union did with the double pivot with Bedoya and Martinez. And then, going a 3-5-2. When I looked at it on paper with Flock at the left back and then Harry playing center back, on paper I thought it was good. But, right away, it's the same old thing. I thought that Atlanta's speed up front and the lack of speed with our center backs just caused too many problems.
Yeah. So didn't I say before the game, I said, yeah, we're probably going to get scored on in like the first 8 minutes.
And it happened.
And it was in like the first 4 minutes.
I mean, you get that foul, it's not called on Martinez. And then Harold gets a foul. They yellow card him and they're going to PK. And you're like, oh, here we go. And then VAR overturns it, but still a foul. And
then we think, oh, yeah, we blocked. And then, but no, then Almada goes in and just bangs it home. Like,
and so that brings up another point. Like you look at that, Bedoya just missed it. He runs out. My question is, where are the other people? A lot of them are just standing around. Now, I get you got to keep your shape, for deflection. But at the same time, I felt we could have been a little bit more aggressive. We were just kind of standing there.
Yeah.
But,
and then there's talk about would Andre Blake have saved it?
He's not saving it.
No, he's not. I think he actually makes an effort and probably reads it right.
No, I mean, that was a
But I think it gets
goal.
By him, too. It was good goal, credit to Almada.
Mata puts that on target, and the initial one, perfect. But like I said, Ali was the only one there that reacted, and he goes in. It's like 1-0. And again, it goes back to the importance I feel about how Andre Blake back there for our defense is so key. And this is not a knock on Joe either, because I'm gonna get to his game in a second, but. You just see the confidence with the defense when he's back there.
Yeah, I also felt we were definitely missing Kai, but
yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I think, and even you put Damian Lowe as center back position, I think we're missing this.
I might have gone with Matt Real, but
maybe.
Yeah, perhaps.
We were just too slow back there, and that's becoming a problem. And well, I'll let somebody else talk about some thoughts, but on their podcast. But I think the other thing I noticed was, early on, Ua was making runs, and we just were not connecting with him.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the same story. Like he's making a run. We even went back and replayed it just to see, he's making a run. And they're still dribbling the ball. It's like, just send the ball. They
need to do more of that. And that's, I think,
the
big reason why he doesn't have as many.
And he
could have so many more goals right now.
And well, I don't know about that, but at least setting up plays.
Right.
Well, the same was with Carranza. There was 2 or 3 plays where he was making a run. They were holding up. So, again, some people, our midfield needs to get a little bit better recognizing those runs a little quicker. But, again, ticky-tack stuff.
Yep.
Yakimakis, we talked about this. Yakimakis gets injured.
Yep.
And you would think, hey, would the Union respond? And around they start going back to the diamond. They abandoned that, and you're thinking, okay, they started looking a little bit better, but I don't know. It's just they were creating chances, but they just weren't finishing them.
Yeah, man, Jose Martinez.
Oh yeah.
Oh, how about he tried to do another shot, kind of, and
I'll tell you what, that thing was on target.
It was on target, and then
the smile, the
camera goes in on him, and they're talking. It's like, oh, he's like, oh man, but had one there. Can you imagine if that had gone in? Oh,
but I do want to say, as bad as the scoreline looked, you're going in 1-0, and again, Atlanta, when you're down 1-0, they haven't lost at home this year when they were leading at the half. But so you're like, oh great. The Union played good, but they didn't play good enough to get points that first half or to have a goal.
Right. As Jim said many times in his press conference, we just weren't sharp enough.
Right.
And that really is
4
it.
times.
Yeah. And here's my take. Okay. So when we get scored on that early, I'm thinking, oh God, here we go. And I had this bad feeling that it might get ugly, but to their credit, to the Union's credit, they didn't allow that second goal until I think it was the 79th minute.
Right.
So they kind of regrouped. They held them off, and I mean, it wasn't pretty all the time, but
they had their
and Joe
opportunities.
was not that bad. Like Joe actually did okay. Now, except that second goal, I thought, yeah,
Okay,
Andre's saving that goal.
okay. So about that second goal, yes, Andre probably makes that save. And I think it was Kevin Kincaid. He makes that save 100 out of 100 times,
Yeah.
and maybe he does. My bigger concern is the defense once again had a letdown.
Mm-hmm.
And I blame defense more than Joe on that. They just were not.
How many times have we seen that happen lately?
We've seen that a lot
Too many.
because they're overplaying again when
Mm-hmm.
Joe's in goal because
Yeah, they're trying too hard.
they do need to relax, and that's a question for Jim. Like, have you noticed that? And again, like
And Joe made some nice saves.
and
He
that's
did
the other thing. And Jim even said that, like, Joe didn't lose this game. The team lost the game.
right.
And I agree. I thought Joe on the night was what you expect from a backup in MLS, and
Yeah.
even a fringe starter, for gosh sakes.
Yeah.
Like,
He
he
was
was
not
not bad.
terrible.
He was not terrible. I've seen worse games by him for
Yeah.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but at the end of the day, just a few other points. I mean, I think at one point we had like 6 offsides. That's just
We keep being, yeah, we're offsides
you're
way too
not
many times.
we're just getting caught way too much again.
Mm-hmm.
Some of that's for them not paying attention to the defenders,
No.
but also that's sometimes us not recognition on the
Yeah.
ball.
I would say the refereeing was
Ted Uncle did not have a good game.
yeah. And if in case you missed it, yeah, even Kai on his Instagram story, he's watching the game at home and he's like, basically, I can't with this refereeing. It's just, yeah.
So now we got now we got the negatives out of the way, and there's more, but he also missed that horse collar on Carranza.
Yeah, there should have been a PK for us there, probably.
Yeah, probably, but and Ali missed wide. So I mean, there we had our chances. If we get some lucky breaks, maybe we get a point on there. But
Mhm.
as Jim said 4 times, we didn't deserve a point that night. And maybe some fun things here. I did think, again, we had the heart. We were, resilient. We kept fighting, and
Yeah.
eventually, hopefully we figure it out. I'm not really worried right now, because again, we don't have a complete team, because
Right.
of the Gold Cup. And the second thing is, we at times last night, did dictate some of the balls, especially on the attack. We just
Mm-hmm.
could not finish. So
How about that time? Was it Jose just totally took the ball was it from Almada, right?
yeah, he just
And that was like a brilliant play. And we're all like, oh, I think that was like late in the game.
yeah,
But we had some really good plays and definitely some bright spots there, but we absolutely need to go into LA and take 3 points from the Galaxy.
we do. But one fun thing, um, we want to talk.
Have you guys seen the Pokemon wearing sports apparel
Yes,
Twitter
yes,
account?
we've had several.
Yeah, and there was Arbok wearing Union like scarf
And
and
there's that other guy who was like,
but I've always said I said if they don't do a Machop with Atlanta stuff on, they're totally
yeah,
missing out because I was, Matcha how do we say it? It's
Machop Cho.
Machop show. Yeah. Who great player by the way. But I just it's like, yeah, he's got one of the best names out of the I was joking because
My
I was doing
question is, does he have a he needs to have a Pokemon tattoo of Machop.
I wonder, yeah, Joaquin Torres, I'm sure would appreciate that.
Yeah.
But no, like when we were doing the all-star voting, I didn't actually submit this, but I was like, I'm just gonna choose what are the best names on here.
He
And that was
definitely has one of the best names.
yeah, he does. But anyway, so that was funny.
I mean, at the end of the night, like we said, the final thoughts on this were, their attacking speed and, just lack of speed on defense hurt us, I think. And, we just didn't create enough in terms of finishing our chances. And hey, like you said, we need to get 3 points in LA. I mean, honestly, I think these next 3 games I had them all draws. No, I had Nashville as a loss. But so we'll see. I mean, you'd love to have Blake back for Nashville, but the way Jamaica's playing, I'm not counting on it.
It's I
It's a
mean, I want
double-edged
him to,
sword.
yeah, I'd love for them to have success, but I also want them to get the heck back to Philly.
But I guess my other thing is, okay, these 3 games are always going to be our toughest stretch. So I think we need to relax and just.
Like we might have had trouble even with our guys in there.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying this was like the dry time for getting points. And you kind of knew that.
We were on such a streak up until now, which
helped
great.
us because we're catching up from our slow start. All right.
Yeah.
So is the shield out of reach? I don't know. Anything can happen.
Since he could get cold.
They
please
and
get cold.
They probably won't, but I think we need to focus on the bigger picture play. It's the playoffs. I mean, we gotta get in that second, third level, seed in the East, and hopefully we can, make a run in playoffs. But hey, you know what? At the end of the day, LA's got the El Trafico tomorrow at the Rose Bowl, which is sold out. So they're gonna play a game. Yep. Now they get an extra day of rest as they would on Wednesday, but hey. Now, granted, they don't have to travel, but they're playing an extra game this week. So we'll see what happens. I mean, hopefully we get some points. But thank you guys for listening tonight. Probably one of our more shorter shows, but we've covered a lot.
Yeah. Oh, and also one more thing I want to talk about, fashion. I don't know if you guys saw the Toronto jersey that just came out today on social media, and it looks kind of like tie-dye kind of, and with the fuchsia and blue and whatnot, and that looks good. I retweeted it.
Let's see if we have,
and yeah, like we were talking about this. I like it, and if the Union came out with one that looked like that, I'd be like, take my money now, because I love the color scheme and the pattern on it. That's a good jersey. Then you have the, Captain America, like I said, the Captain America wallpaper jersey that I think is really phoned in.
No, definitely. There it is.
Yeah. I mean, that looks good. I'd buy that if I was a Toronto fan.
I gotta give Billy credit here, because Billy.
I love the pink shorts with that too.
Yeah, I do too.
That's hot.
I like the lettering. I agree with Billy here.
Yeah.
But doesn't that remind you of raspberry lemonade, the wording and the crest?
Yeah.
It kind of does. I don't know why, but it's a perfect analogy he used.
Yeah, the yellow pops off of it good. I'm not always a fan of that color of yellow. As you know, I see the Real Salt Lake unis and I was like, that's ugly. But I like how it pops off of there. Yeah.
I thought it was when I saw it first.
You thought it was Las Vegas Lights, which if you've never seen Las Vegas Lights, USL team, their jerseys, they are all kinds of fun colors. And we went to a game last year when they were playing the Riverhounds, and we actually have a couple jerseys. They're very neon, but it's very fitting for Vegas. But yeah,
they got a killer one this year that has the Vegas.
They have some really killer unis. Check them out if you haven't.
And the cool part with them is, and sorry to get off on this, is you can get their jerseys, like they have mystery jerseys now.
Yeah.
From like last year for like $10.
Yeah.
You just basically, they'll send you a jersey. Like I got a goalkeeper. I got a goalkeeper, like an official game used goalkeeper jersey.
Yeah. But yeah, props to Toronto. That top is really snazzy. I like it. And the Union could put something out along those lines. I'd be all over it. I mean, definitely, I thought the Parley jersey was a winner this year. I mean, I know that everybody had them. That one is that, between that and the Unity top from last year, which of course those are my two favorite ones now. I love them. But I wonder if we'll have any other.
We'll
releases.
See.
Yeah,
we'll see. But again, make sure to like and comment. Tell us what you think about this episode. Any key takeaway points you want to add?
Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. We do have some guests coming up. Been lining up some guests here behind the scenes, so stay tuned for a few interviews. I love doing those. Those are so much fun. Just asking questions, getting to know people and fans. And, in the future, we hope to have more on and keep doing that because, let's be honest, no one wants to hear us talk for 45 minutes to an hour.
They just don't want to hear you talk for 45 minutes.
I just have a boring voice. I know.
No, it's okay.
It's okay.
I'm just kidding.
But anyway, or mispronounce names. But
that's
anyway.
Okay. We all have our quirks. No one's perfect except for me. I'm just kidding. I'm far from it.
But anyway, so thank you for tuning in. And again, we ended the show on a high note. And hey, let's see if we can get 3 points in LA. But until next time, I'm Kyle.
I'm Jillian.
And we'll see you.